This is an introduction to WhatsApp. There are many, many things you can do with WhatsApp, but we're going to cover some of the basics so you understand what it is, how it's becoming more and more widely used by a lot of people and organizations, and what in the world it is. We'll talk about what it is and what it can do because it has a lot of features in it, and I'll demonstrate as much as I can before we hit about a half an hour time. WhatsApp is an application that is made by a company, and we're going to go through what you can send and receive and what you can communicate. And we're also going to talk about who you can do it with. So that's basically any communications app, whether it's text messaging or whether it's email. They all do different types of things. So social networks give you the ability to communicate with people. So it's what you can send and receive that is the app capable of doing it, and who you can do it with. Meta, the company that makes Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and WhatsApp, and also Meta AI, owns WhatsApp. They bought it about 6 to 8 years ago. It was used pretty widely out of the United States, and it is really used a lot. I'll give you some statistics I found when I was doing some research for this, but it's actually being integrated with Facebook and Instagram, and even Meta AI is integrated in there as well. So Meta's a big company. And of course, as you can imagine, Meta being a publicly traded business has looked for ways to make money from WhatsApp. And we'll take a look at some of the ways they're doing it. There's over 2 billion users of WhatsApp worldwide. So you might have heard about it, but you may not be using it. And chances are, if you know anybody that is living outside of the United States and want to communicate with them, or you're communicating with anybody outside of your country's borders, it's an application you probably used. In the United States, I didn't look up Canada, sorry for my Canadian friends. There's 100 million active monthly users in the US. And this number, active monthly users, means a lot from an investment standpoint and a measurement standpoint, because that means that 100 million people have actively logged in and used WhatsApp at least once in a month. There might be 200 or 300 million users in the US, but 100 million of them are actively logging in and using it. Some people like me use it every day. The top 3 countries of the world it's used in are India, Brazil, and Indonesia. They use it really. I read that India has something like 700 million users, which is a lot of the population of India. And the US is actually number 5 in terms of total number of users. I would have expected us to be a little bit lower, but our usage is increasing, particularly because we communicate with people outside of the United States. And there's reasons why it's really good for communications with people that live outside of your country. It is free to download and use. You can download it on iPhone, on an iPad. They have an app. You can use it on Android. You can use it on Windows, and you can use it on a Mac. So it's possible to use it on any platform. They make it easier to use on all the platforms all the time. So if you don't want to lift up your phone while you're sitting in front of your Mac, you can communicate via WhatsApp on your Mac. You can use it on Windows machines, pretty much anything that's really popular. You notice that it doesn't work on Chromebooks, and because they have to make an app that's downloadable for a Chromebook, and it doesn't really have a web interface so much. You have to download the app to actually use it. It uses data. Unlike a text message that we might send through our cellular phone plan that goes through our cellular phone number to our cellular network to another cellular phone user, WhatsApp uses data, which means it's using Wi-Fi, just like a internet connection on a computer or a smartphone or other things when you're in your home or roaming. And it also can use cellular as well. So if you want to save on cellular minutes, which is pretty common, but cellular plans have gotten moderately, priced better over the years. But when you are using the data portion of your plan, you are not sending voice messages over WhatsApp. You're not sending text messages via WhatsApp, although you are sending messages. And the important thing is that both people that are communicating with each other both need to have WhatsApp. And it's typically tied to your phone number. So when you set up a WhatsApp account, when you download the app on your phone, you will be asked, it'll use that phone number and it'll identify you by that phone number. It does messaging. It can send text messages, and there's not a lot of limits in terms of the size of text messages. I've sent whole articles to people and been able to do that. You can record a voice memo and send a voice memo as a message. And this is really popular because sometimes you can't reach a person, but say you're driving and you don't want to type, you can record your voice and have that voice message sent. And it's really a good way to communicate, and it captures a lot more inflection. You can also send images to people as part of a message, and you can send videos as part of a message also. So it gives you a lot of different types of media that you can send and receive from people. So you can send any one of these and you can receive any one of these on your WhatsApp application. You also can do things live. So messaging is something that takes place, then you can look at it whenever you look at it. You'll get a notification, typically a tone or something that'll pop up on your phone or pop-up message just to let you know you've got a message. But you can also communicate live with people. And this is where a lot of people use it to avoid things like international roaming costs for cellular phone calls. You can have a voice call internationally. And I've had voice calls with my family in Spain, a friend of mine that's working in the Middle East, with people in Canada. So it's possible to have a voice call anywhere. It's going to use data, but it's basically using WhatsApp, and WhatsApp essentially is a phone that has become another type of phone you can use in your device. You can also have live video calls so that you can see the person. I've actually had a Spanish tutor give me Spanish lessons by video using WhatsApp so that we can communicate with voice and video live and do it that way without having to pay any additional costs. So it can be used for personal video conferencing. And I believe, although I haven't tested it, I believe it can be used for group video conferencing. I know it can be used for group voice calls. Like a few of us actually tried that the other day and had a conference call with 3 people sharing what's a voice call with WhatsApp. And you can also share your location with WhatsApp. I was picking up a friend at the airport and I wanted him to know when to be ready by the curb for me to pull up. And so I used WhatsApp and I shared my location with him so that he could track me live and see where I was and it would update the location for me by using the GPS feature in my phone. WhatsApp would just send him an update for my location. So there are some nice live things you can do with WhatsApp as well. So who is using WhatsApp and who can you communicate with? It's a communication tool. And so it's really popular. It's becoming more popular all the time. And it's possible to compute with individuals. So if you know a person that uses WhatsApp or you want to invite them to use WhatsApp, you can do that and send them an invitation to their phone number, and it'll include a link, to say, hey, I'm using WhatsApp. You can actually have it access your contacts and keep your contacts up to date so that you can see what contacts in your contact list are using WhatsApp. Businesses are using WhatsApp. I'm scheduling a trip to Colombia and in Latin America, and I'm taking a week of Spanish lessons at a Spanish school. And the Spanish school has a WhatsApp application they use to communicate with their students and schedule and other things like that. So there's lots of businesses that are using WhatsApp to communicate with their customers and clients. There are groups that you can create for free in WhatsApp. So if you have a club or an organization or a family, I have a couple of family groups that I have. I have some groups that I belong to that are people that are just affiliated with certain kinds of activities. And then there's also Meta AI. And Meta AI is actually like another WhatsApp user. You can actually chat with Meta AI from within the WhatsApp app and use it just like you would use it on a website or through an application, separate application. And another thing that's in there is something called communities. Communities are designed to be things that people can share and have subgroups in. So a group is a group of individuals. It can be set so that only people are invited and nobody else knows about it unless they're pulled together as a group. And then communications are shared within the group. It's one way to communicate. Communities are a little bit more sophisticated in that you can have a community that's set up by an individual or a business, and that community can be joined and by people on WhatsApp, and people can be invited to join the community. I'll show you a community I have for expats in Barranquilla, and you can have subgroups within communities. So you can have an interest group on learning English, you can have an interest group on technology or whatever you wanted to do. You could create a community on WhatsApp and bring people together in a variety of ways. So I'll try and show you as many of these things as I can, but it's a very, very sophisticated. If you just use it for chatting with people and sending messages, it's great by itself. You can attach photos, you can record voice, you can attach videos, you can take a picture with it. It's a complete messaging application that has a lot of sophisticated resources that it lets you expand it. This is what the app looks like. If you ever want to download it, just go to the App Store, the Apple App Store, the Android App Store, and you can download it. So I tap WhatsApp, and it's just going to show up the last thing I was looking at. This is a communication I'm having with Colombia Spanish. This little icon up here tells me it's a business, and we're just communicating, and they're going to send me a quote on a date to letting me know. There is a plus button. If I wanted to add something to this, I can tap my cursor in the text box here. I can look at different aspects of this message. I can attach a photo or I can record a voice memo. So these are some things. I can add a contact here if I want to. So we'll take a look at some of this navigation, but you can see the chat looks pretty consistent like any other chat dialogue you'd have. And when you see two check marks there, it means that it's been received and read by somebody. So Colombia Spanish is a Spanish school in Medellin, Colombia. Generally, when you open up WhatsApp for the first time, you're going to see this thing called chats, and there are some navigation tools on the bottom here. You would have had to set yourself up. They typically ask you to create a profile. And so if you create a profile, you'll typically be asked to put a photo in there, give them a name, and that's part of your settings. You have an account that you have, and you can look at other linked devices so that with your same phone number, you can use the same WhatsApp account. I haven't done too much in settings ever, and so this just says, Bob, I'm using WhatsApp. If I tap this and I want to share the QR code here, I can tap the QR code. It's possible for you to scan the QR code with your phone and connect with me on WhatsApp. If you don't have an account, you'd have to set it up. But that's an easy way to share contact information if you're at any activity or event. On the bottom, most of your activity is going to be taking place in what's called chats. And in chats, you can see all of your chats, and the most recent ones will show up on top. So this was 11:56 a.m. I was talking to Meta AI. Microsoft Copilot has an account. This is a family group. This is my son. And this is a community. This is a personal trainer. This is another individual that runs a virtual assistant business. So there are lots of ways to communicate with WhatsApp and use this. If I want to create a message or send a new message to somebody, I would just tap on the plus button and I can search for the name. And I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I've got my friend Carl here in here. And here's Carl Gable says, and I can just, it opens it up and I can say, hi, Carl, and it'll send the message. If I wanted to, I can use my camera and I can take a selfie here, try and get a smile there as good as I can, and I can send that. So you can send and receive messages to and from people in any way you want to, and then they reply and it'll be live like that. You also have the ability to tap the plus button, and the plus button gives you the ability to access your photos, take a camera, share your location, share your contact, or send a document, or you can even do a poll now, or schedule an event, or send AI images if you want to. So there's lots of different options here when you do that. And then you'll see this little keyboard that'll pop back up doing here. So I'll pop the keyboard up and I'm going to send a voice message here. Let me turn off my Bluetooth real quick because I've got it connected to my hearing aids, and you won't hear this if I do it this way. I'm going to tap the microphone, and if I tap and hold the microphone, I'm holding onto the microphone and my phone is actually recording a message that will be sent when I let go. So you can see this message here. If I tap play, holding onto the microphone and my phone is actually recording a message that will be sent when I let go. So it's possible to send and receive voice recordings with people. And so people will see, they'll get the message almost immediately. So it's really easy to use from that standpoint in doing things. You can do a live phone call or a live video call here. So I would just tap that and it would open up my video camera for you. I'm going to go back to my list here. So Carl was the last communication I had. Here's expats, here's a few others, and I have some others that are here as well. So I'm going to take a look at Meta AI and a few other things, but I want to show you communities. Communities can have groups inside of them. So this is a real estate agent, Paulette Romero, that runs this community in Barranquilla for expatriates that live there and want to get together. There aren't as many expatriates in Barranquilla, Colombia, as there are in some other cities like Medellin, which is one of the appeals for me, but other people might want more contacts. So that members, she would basically set up these groups of special interest people and essentially invite people to the group if she wants to, so that they can get together, and she organizes events, she organizes activities, and so she makes it possible for people that are expats in that community to really communicate with each other. So it's a great messaging tool. You will see this Meta icon here. So you don't have to have a chat with Meta directly. You can actually just tap on the Meta icon and message at Meta, just as though you were communicating with any AI tool. You can do things with it. You can ask questions. So you don't have to leave WhatsApp to do things like searching for something or finding something or what's, the time in some other place. You can really do a lot of things from within WhatsApp because it's built in. You can have chat sessions with WhatsApp, just like any other AI with Meta AI in here, and you can communicate. It'll explain a lot of different things. It tells you that each phone number is one account and communicates a lot of information to you. You can ask Meta AI or search something, so your chats are searchable, and they're organized here. You can look at all of them. You look at unread. You can look at your favorites, or you can look at other groups that you're part of to be able to organize. So WhatsApp is a tremendously robust communication tool. And it also gives you something called updates. These are updates from people that they've indicated their status has changed or they posted something. And there are actually channels. These are public channels that are available in WhatsApp, so that if you'd just like to get updates from within WhatsApp about what's going on or what a channel is communicate, you can explore channels. There's the WhatsApp channel that kind of gives you updates on WhatsApp, but there's the U.S. Department of State, NBC News, Noticias Telemundo, Netflix, sports, a tremendous number of channels. So you're finding a lot of major brands that are and publications are using WhatsApp to communicate on a channel within WhatsApp, because so many people in the world, with 2 billion people using it, it's really valuable for people to use. So those are just different things. You'll see phone calls under calls, chats under chats. Those two buttons at the bottom are probably going to be the most common things you're going to be using on a regular basis. But it works essentially like any other messaging. But the great thing about it, if you're traveling overseas, in particular outside of your country, you can use it just on Wi-Fi, and you're not going to use any cellular roaming minutes. That's one of the big advantages of it. And so if you're in a hotel room or at Airbnb or in a restaurant or a coffee shop, you don't have to use up your cellular minutes time. And it does give you a wide range of communication options for setting up personal and group communications, sharing messages, sharing photos, sharing documents, whatever you might want to share, and sharing videos. So just a complete resource for you for communication. If you haven't tried it, I recommend you try it and take a look at it and see how it works for you.